Hello and good afternoon to you. So I come to you today, it's a little chillier out today and it's a little bit overcast, but I wanted to make sure I was outside with you because that makes me feel better as I'm talking to you. And today I wanted to bring up a little bit of a heavier topic because it's present for so many of us right now. And the topic is coping with what we will call cumulative grief. And although we all wished we were going to be and hoped that we would be in a different space individually, collectively, as a society, with our families and friends, and larger than that, globally, we had hoped we were going to be in a different space than we are currently at this point here in January of 2022. We are where we are, and it can feel frustrating. It can feel confusing. It can make us upset and angry and sad, and it stirs up a lot of emotion for us that has been sort of simmering along. And it's not to say that all is unwell or that there aren't moments and sparks of good and things that give us optimism and do give us hope. But what I have heard more frequently from friends and from colleagues is that there's a lot of resurgence of heavier feelings. And let's dig into this conversation around, well, what is cumulative grief? Cumulative grief is when we have had a series of losses, particularly several in a row over a shorter period of time, that we haven't really either had the time to process, integrate, or we simply have had to tamp them down for lots of reasons, including that we just are not in a space to take them on emotionally, psychologically, etc. So they just have not had a chance to be, and to be moved into a space where we can move with them. It is like residue that just keeps adding on, and at a certain point there will be emotions that will come up that you'll be like, whoa, where was that coming from? Or physical sensations. A really wise author who wrote The Body Keeps Scores, that's Bessel van der Kolk, wrote, in order to change, people need to become aware of their sensations and the way that their bodies interact with the world around them. Physical self-awareness is the first step in releasing the tyranny of the past. And the book that he's writing about is how we process trauma, and grief is, of course, as we've talked about before, a cousin. Grief is a cousin to trauma, and trauma can also exacerbate grief. They go back and forth. So grief, what are we missing? What have we lost? It could be people, it could be pets, it could be jobs, it could be an opportunity, it could be that there are unprocessed griefs from the past that get stirred up and brought back forward, just like the same thing that can happen with trauma. Those emotions and feelings from past grief can come back. So we're in a space of having to navigate this alongside maybe the things that we're hoping to then bring forward in a more positive way for this year. So let's do this more skillfully and with more awareness together. And that is key, that we do this together. So I wanted to first bring up the fact that you're not alone. If you're feeling like, I just want to be done with this, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling frustrated, you are so not alone. So collectively, as a community, let's go ahead and work with our individual cumulative grief. So some thoughts. What can help? What can help? Number one is, again, yes, community. Speaking with trusted friends and colleagues. And hey, if individuals are in a space where they're telling you to just get over it, that may not be the most helpful space for you to be in. And you may want to seek others who will allow you to be with what you are dealing with now. And so it's valuable to find those trusted friends, family members, and perhaps this is the time where we lean into professional support and communities, grief counselors or professional therapists. Yes. If you are seeking resources, don't be shy about going online and seeking out, for example, betterhelp.com is a great resource, or going through your own general practitioner, going through online resources around whether it's the National Mental Health Associations that are online. Don't be shy about investigating. There's also an organization called griefshare.org. Really interesting resources found there, including a community and words of support and kindness coming regularly towards you. So get curious about what are some of the resources that are available to you in those communities. This is all part and parcel of us also choosing self-care. And what else? Remember, what else do you need to help take care of yourself physically, spiritually, yes, emotionally, around that? Saying yes to those self-care times helps you to fortify and be open to the support of your community as well. So self-care. What other things might we lean into? Let's think about other things that we might find individually have helped us in the past. Maybe it is through art. Maybe it is through the celebration of life, of somebody or something that has passed. Maybe it is through connection with others who are going through similar things, and you find spaces to openly speak. So there's a number of different ways of going about this. And one of the things I did want to share then also with you are just some nice little quotes, because I think they help to frame. The wise Winnie the Pooh said, "How lucky I am to have had something that makes saying goodbye so hard." So we reframe the loss. How lucky we are to have had something that was hard to say goodbye to. So maybe we take a moment to recognize that this is what it is to be alive, that there is life and death, there is loss, and there are things that will come towards us that will fill our hearts and our beings with joy. This is the way. And I feel like the grief process also is important because it is not one that you will necessarily ever get over. So I love this quote. "The reality is that you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. You'll learn to live with it. You will heal and you will rebuild yourself around the loss you have suffered. You will be whole again, but you will never be the same. Nor should you, nor would you want to." That was Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler on grief and grieving. You will change, you will evolve, and all of these hard things that we come across in our lives, the losses of things, of opportunities, of people, and of pets, they add to us. And we need to give them space to go ahead and individually grieve each loss. Let yourself feel them, and in the feeling, it will be hard, but it is part of the integration. Don't do it alone. But allow yourself to feel the emotions, name the sensations. And in this, we then evolve, grow, and become more capable of walking forward with the grief process. There's nothing wrong with you. You are a feeling human, going through tough circumstances and a lot of loss in a very small amount of time, really. It's okay. So with this, I do wish you with such a compassionate heart. I too am working through grief and loss, just like you. Just like you. We'll get through this together, my friends. Take good care.